FSD and roundabouts. Is it a match made in heaven, or is it just truly the worst? Well, on 12.3.6, which is what I'm on, I've had remarkably good luck. My biggest complaint was no blinkers coming in and out of the roundabout. Bradford Ferguson, joining me as my driver today, said, "Is that the law?" And I checked. It is not the law in most states. In Maryland, I believe it is the law. In Washington and Indiana, not the law. By the way, I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Ozza.
All right, so we're going. Are our mics paused or we're running?
We're running.
Okay, good. So we are in Carmel, Indiana, and this is the world capital of roundabouts. We have 100 roundabouts in a 5-mile radius, and it's maybe like 3 lights that I'm aware of.
100 roundabouts?
Or there's probably way more. I need to count them. So we're gonna do about 6 of them in quick succession. Then we'll change the route and go through some different ones and get some different angles, and we'll just see how it does. But the improvements in 12.3 solved a ton of issues that version 11 had with roundabouts, where it would stop in the middle of roundabouts. It would
so
do all kinds of things.
A 4-way, multi-lane, 2 to 3 lane, and it took it like nothing, like a human would. Mm-hmm. Like a human who has driven a roundabout before would. Because I've seen some humans get really confused in these, pausing as I would.
And I'd say it used to be like, I don't know, it felt like it was 70% before with roundabouts, and now it's like 99%. So it's really, really good.
So what I would have done in that intersection is exactly what it did. Is that guy turning? Is that guy nope, he's going straight, I'm going. Mm-hmm. And here we are in another one, like it's nothing. This guy's getting in on this side, he's staying in his lane. And
we got 2 lanes, yeah.
And we got 2 lanes, like nothing.
It's slowed down a little bit for that person, but that's right? Good.
That is how I would drive.
Because sometimes people might be like, they're in the wrong lane and they'll try and cut across. Yes. Instead of turning right, where they're supposed to turn right.
It's very human. Coming up on another one, multi-lane, cars on slow down, going through. Yeah. So with version 12, we're on neural nets, meaning
no rules, just right.
No rules, just right. And it is, I don't know how many hours of code were devoted to trying to solve this with heuristic if-thens, but I think it would be, while not impossible, approaching impossible. Mm-hmm.
And so the way roundabouts used to be, where they had rules, is it's almost like the rules would fight each other, and you would have the steering wheel do this, and it would stop and start. It's like, mm-hmm. It was just a jerky mess, and now it's just really smooth. It does it right a vast majority of the time. Mm-hmm. The issues I'm seeing is occasionally it'll creep into that first lane of the roundabout and not go, and kind of hang out a little bit, wait for other cars to pass, and sometimes still it'll pull into the roundabout at the perfectly wrong time, so you still need to pay attention. But I haven't had the issue of it a safety critical. This person's waving me on, so I'm hitting the accelerator. So that was a pedal intervention. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn around, set a new route, so we hit a ton of roundabouts.
Yeah.
And keep it going, because we want to see how it does. We've got a bunch of cars here, so yep. Let me just get to the side here. Wow, I've never seen this much traffic. So we got like the summer camps going on, and let's get a new route going. We'll head toward over here. Let's see. My brain is, I haven't fully had my coffee yet. Brian's had his, but not me.
I did have my coffee.
Okay. All right, so that's going to be the route. Let me just turn around and get it pointed the right way, so it goes the way we want to kind of stress test it. Want more roundabouts. they said.
Now, Bradford is having to get familiar with stalks again because he has a Cybertruck, which no autopilot yet. It just has lane departure. Not warning, just the departure.
We got an unusual backup here at this first roundabout. So just like, what's great about these roundabouts is there used to be a stop sign here.
Oh.
And when there were stop signs here, it would be backed up for like a half mile.
Yeah.
And imagine like stopping your car, creeping up 10 feet and stopping it and doing that 100 times before you even get to the stop sign. So here we're just kind of rolling and like we'll be through this in like less than a minute.
Yeah. And yeah.
So it's awesome living here in Carmel with so few traffic lights or stop signs.
And stop and go is the most infuriating kind of traffic there is.
Yep.
Okay.
It used to get
Nice
tripped up by these
little
pedestrian
gap behind it
painting where
There
it
you go.
paint the pedestrian lines. Oh, that's a little beefy coming out of that. Sometimes it gets excited and does a pretty strong acceleration coming out.
I keep moderate on, and it still will throw my trash around for me.
So we're signaling, we're going left. You're not expected to signal going into roundabouts. It's expected you're going to turn. And you don't have to signal coming out. I think it's a little, this is just my opinion, but I think it's a little unsafe to expect drivers to signal when they're going to exit the roundabout. I think it helps the other cars, to figure out if you're exiting or not. It can kind of speed up the flow of traffic, but when you're driving, I think adding that extra signal before you exit is a little bit much because you're doing all this other stuff.
When I looked it up, my research said many of the sources said in this particular state it's not required, but it is considered polite. So we're not legislating politeness, but boy, I tell you, I don't know, how was the 11 stack for you?
It was so bad I was no longer using it in Carmel, Indiana.
Yes.
And I would only use it to show people kind of where FSD was. And it was still like a pretty awesome achievement by Tesla to be able to even attempt it.
This is a big, complicated, effortless roundabout.
Yep.
So I had, as you know,
it hugs the inside of the turns generally.
Yeah.
It does it at a speed where it's not subjecting you to sway in general. And it's very smooth and enjoyable.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I'm hoping that these videos get so boring we have to stop making them because that means it's safe. That means it's easy. Mm-hmm. As you know from my videos, I also had serious struggles with version 11 in my town. And it feels like a lot of the big cities it worked great, and the smaller cities, for whatever reason, it just didn't. And when version 12 came out, I went out and grabbed Jim the Iowa Tesla guy and Brian Reeby Drives Electric, because they're both from smaller towns in Iowa and Minnesota, and they had the same experience I did, which is that version 12.
This truck's going a little slow. I'm going to try and force it to get over, but it sometimes will decide not to anyways.
Well, he is coming over that lane a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll see what it does.
The Tesla is just not comfortable going around this guy.
Well, he has a habit of not staying in his lane.
So we had something fun happen yesterday. I was taking some clients around. They were from Jersey. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna hit the accelerator. This is just like too boring. Okay, I just goosed it a little bit to get around them. I'm gonna go a little faster than Brian would. Is that okay?
Of course.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I keep my offset at
Yeah.
10%, but I usually will ratchet it up from there.
So we were driving and it was, the cars were stopped for some geese, and I was wondering, would the Tesla stop for geese if it's the first car? You know, it had to stop because we were stopped behind other cars, and we got more geese, and it stopped for them. So it often stops for animals, but you know, be ready to intervene.
Well, the code's very simple. When it's a goose, it stops. When it's an itty bitty baby mannequin, fast, go faster. Those are so dishonest. I find him to be loathsome and ghoulish. So much so that I won't even say his name.
You're referring to the fake tests that they do. We weren't sure if that car was going to come through or not. It took a very wide angle to turn right.
I also, I wasn't sure either. His tests are fake. You can see he blurs out parts of the screen that make it work, and you know how much A/B testing he had to do to find the outside edge case where it might fail.
So we're going to reroute in the middle of this roundabout and see if it just takes us back to where we started. There are many more roundabouts for us to go to, but I think you get the picture. We've had no safety critical disengagements.
No, we've had an intervention because we didn't like that truck, and a disengagement because we wanted to turn around. And if that was safety critical, I don't know who those people are. Don't trick or treat in this neighborhood, mister. But yeah. Boy,
It's just easy and it's delightful. If I didn't have my Cybertruck, I would be driving around in FSD on one of my other Teslas. So waiting for Cybertruck to get FSD, and that'll be great when it does. I'm curious to see how it does differently or same or whatever.
Yeah. This, for your town, this feels fantastic. This feels like, I mean, I don't want to say solved because that's a big word. And
I know you tried Salt Lake City, so like when 12.3 first came out, I got to try it in Salt Lake City at the end of my Rebellion Era road trip, where I took a Tesla out of California, away from its home turf, and tried it in cities across the United States, got it all the way to New York City. And we were driving at night in Salt Lake City, and it was just doing so good. Like, I didn't want to stop. It's just so fun watching it keep going, and it just did so well. It's just like it's a really good experience. It's not perfect yet. It needs a lot of improvement on highway, and it's not the end-to-end approach on the highway. So once they implement that, I expect it to correct a lot of the annoyances that we have with highway, whether it's on the highway, how it behaves with semis, or getting on and off highway. We expect that to improve quite a bit.
So I had good luck in Salt Lake City. It was the state of Colorado where it did all kinds of concerning, dangerous things, and I was
on the highway mainly.
Yes, mainly yes. You know what? Exclusively on the highway. Now that you mention
version
it.
11.
Yeah, because it was
version 11.
Because it was like trying to dart onto lanes that were off ramps at highway speed, which would create a problem.
Let's show the parallel parking here. Okay, we got someone behind us, so I just intervened so we can get into a certain spot. So we're gonna have it parallel park right here.
Sure.
And there's just one spot available. We can do it between cars. It's really good. Whoa. Hang on. Oh. It's not. Let me get rid of.
I think you were too
Let me get rid of the camera view.
Well, you're in reverse.
Huh.
So I think you went just a hair too far forward.
Okay.
And it lost the picture.
This one's kind of that's a bad. That would be a stress test. All right. So here's one with one spot between two cars.
There you go. As soon as it lights up, hit it.
We go slower.
There you
Okay,
go.
there we go. And we're gonna start it.
My success rate with auto park has been 100%.
Well, I would say the same thing.
There was one instance where I chose to move it because the curb was a little tall and I was afraid we might ding the door on the sidewalk.
Mm-mm.
But that was the only one.
So a lot of people hate parallel parking,
Mm-hmm. They just won't do it.
and this is standard with FSD. And what's great is it gets into the spot and then it pulls up to a reasonable
Puts it in park.
and immediately puts it in park, and we're done.
That's it.
Crushing the roundabouts in Carmel and parking us.
I have to say, I am absolutely impressed. I thought it would do well. I didn't think it would do 100% well, because and it felt smooth and it felt human. So
Sorry to bore you all with that.
when it comes to safety, I think boring is okay.
No other car in the world can do this. It can try to drive itself anywhere in the U.S. and do a great job. No other car can do it. Waymo can't do it. Cruise can't do it. No one else can do it. Tesla can.
I have concerns about Waymo and Cruise and their ability to scale, but that's a topic for a whole other video. So guys, big thanks to Bradford Ferguson for helping us out and showing us the roundabout capital of the world and how well Tesla does. I will put a link in the description to rebellionaire.com and his YouTube channel and his X account. Lots of good stuff to follow, and even a good quality meme from time to time. But everybody else, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Like, subscribe, do the usual. Smack some thumbs, your friends or your own. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to be there. And stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.